Hi everyone, I hope you're doing really well. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different that I don't usually do. I'm actually going to do an unboxing of a machine I bought. So I'm going to give a little bit longer update later in October, but I've decided to open up a alterations business here where I live. So I know, am I crazy for starting a new business in the era of COVID? Well, maybe I'm a little bit crazy. So the one machine that I didn't have to be able to do that is a Blindstitch machine, and that's what I have got here. It's a tabletop Blindstitch machine, so I can just hook it on to the end of one of my other industrial machines. So I just thought once I got it, I would actually do this unboxing. There aren't a lot of videos out there for this particular machine, so I thought that I would just show you what I've got here. Now, a couple of things, I don't get sponsored by this company. It's a Consew. I don't get sponsored by anybody at all. So I'm just giving you all of these videos because I want to and not because I'm getting paid for it. So the other thing is I'm shooting this in portrait mode because I can't show you the way it is in landscape. It won't show the table and the box and everything at the same time with me. So I have pre-opened this because there are two huge staples on the end. So I didn't want them flying everywhere while I was shooting. So anyway, I'm going to start this unboxing. Let's see what we have in here. An instruction manual. We'll see how good that is. Sometimes these aren't good, sometimes they are. Then I've got the foot pedal. And let's pull the top part out of here. Styrofoam. There's a box here. And this has some other parts. Looks like the knee pad for raising and lowering the presser foot. There's some tools in here. The knee press and the thread and some other tools here for the eye guard. So I'm going to just set this out here for the time being. Oh, and there's a cover. So I'm going to put this all back in this box because I need to get the actual machine out and on the table. And I may need to stop the video and then come back if it won't come out of the box easily. It is a little bit heavy, but nothing I can't handle. So let's see, move this over enough to be able to, well, okay, it is a little bit heavy, but no big deal. Well, there is some oil in the bottom, but hopefully that won't go on my table, otherwise I will have to replace that. Okay, so if we can, let me see if I can put this in the camera. So this is what it comes like with this plastic. Let me pull this out. Have the plastic very carefully here. So it is all metal. I know that because it's heavy. So there are some plastic parts back here. Okay, there was some oil there. I'll have to replace my table now, my tabletop. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and I've got to attach the thread carrier here. So the reason this is a tabletop, most Blindstitch come in like an industrial table, like a straight stitch machine, which they have a big motor underneath. This one is actually all self-contained. It has the motor right back here that actually makes it go. So it's all self-contained, and then eventually there will be a clamp that I need to put on to hold it onto a table. It's actually pretty heavy, so I may not need the clamp right away, depending on where I decide to put it. I think I'm probably going to put it on one of the ends of my machines. But let me pull some of this other stuff out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so while I was away, I had a quick look at the instruction guide, and I think pictures are going to be the best bet here. There are two things that I want to attach right away. This is the thread carrier, and this right here is where I'm going to put my cone thread. And then this is the thread carrier, and I want to put it in here. And then also, I need to read about how to put the foot or knee pedal on that goes here somewhere. and there's a lot of oil. Once I opened up the other small pieces, the oil had opened up and a lot of it had drained out. So I have paper towels so that I don't get too messy here. So the nice thing is they actually do give you tools. There are these tools here to help you screw things in, and there are a lot of different sizes. So there are different size bolts around here. I'm going to turn this around because I'm going to put the thread carrier in here. Let me move this so you can kind of see more where I'm going here at the back. There's this little spot right here that is sticking out, and that's where the thread carrier is going to go, and you can decide how tall or high you want it. So I'm going to find out which one of these is the closest size, and of course I have a couple sets of these too. I could run and get my own sets, but this is actually looks pretty small. Let's see. There it is. So I want this up a little bit higher, and I wonder if I can take this off. I can take this off because I don't have enough room to get all the way around. So I want it about like this. Just gonna make sure it's snug in there. And then I can stick this back on here. So I've used these machines a lot. So I started out in alterations, bridal alterations, custom apparel, and I've just never really owned one of these before. I haven't really needed it because whenever I've done hems, I've just done them by hand, and those take forever. And also this will help with the pant hems. So now that I got this on, I'm going to look to see how I get this, the knee pedal on. Okay, so I'm gonna put the knee lifter here. It comes in this little package. I wonder how oily this is. This is going to, it's not that bad, but it's going to go here on this bar, and there's a little groove here to set it in there, and there's a little pull post here. So I'm going to slide this in there so it goes into that groove, and then it's going to click in there, right? So it doesn't have a bolt to like hold it on there, because you're basically just going to be pushing this. You can't really see that because I'm not getting it. You're going to be pushing this to lower this part of the presser foot, or the feed dogs. And then if I need to change the angle of it, which I think I'm okay, it's a little bit angled. This is the screw where I can adjust that just a little bit. I can unscrew that, and I can kind of turn it if I want it to be going straight down. But I'm going to leave it like this for right now. So I'm going to have to put this on. This goes right here, so it'll make it a little bit softer for my knee. But I think I'm going to have to take this out. Maybe I can just screw it on there by hand. Let me see if I can lower the camera a little bit. Okay, so I want to put the knee lifter pad onto this bar and slide it up here. But you have these two pieces here, this little clamp here, and then these two pieces here. Now these holes, you're gonna have to insert the post in there, and you're gonna take this and you're gonna put this in the middle of that so that you get the holes, right, all lined up. And then once you get it on the post, you're gonna decide where on your knee you're gonna like it, and then you're gonna tighten the screw so it doesn't move. So I've got this all set up, and I'm gonna slide this up here, and for right now I'll just do it about there, and then I'm gonna get this screw tightened in, and then you'll need to probably just tighten it up here. That's the way you're supposed to do the screw. I actually might need a little bit longer screw because that's not staying on very well, but there is a tool here if I want to make it a little bit tighter. Okay, that will stay on for right now. Maybe next time I go to the hardware store, I'll get a longer screw. So that stays on, and now when I push this, the feed dogs go down, the presser foot goes down, okay? And for right now, that's really all the things that I actually need to actually install on the machine, with the exception of the foot pedal, which is here. Take this out. The foot pedal here. And looks like the cord, the foot pedal is all together in one. Let me move this out. I'm going to put the foot pedal on the floor. And then this piece gets inserted here. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to get things threaded up here. Let me clean this up and I'll show you how it really should be threaded. Okay, so I'm back, and before I thread it up, they make it kind of a big deal about oiling it, and they say to oil it before every use, and we'll see how that goes. But there was a lot of oil down here when I removed their sample. So you can see all the yellow there. There was a lot of oil on that, so I had to kind of wipe that off. But there are at least 6 spots where they tell you to oil it, and it just takes a drop. So there are 3 spots, 1, 2, 3 here. Each one of those gets a drop of oil, and then there's a spot here for a drop of oil, and then one right up here on top where it shows you the needle system that's used, and then there's one more right down here on the pedal, the foot here. If you can kind of see that little hole, that's where I need to put a drop of oil. So that's what I'm going to do. But see, my oil opened up, and so I don't have a lot here, but that's plenty. I have other machine oil anyway. So I'm just going to put a drop in here. Okay, so I'm about to thread this, and I guess I wasn't recording when I actually put oil in all of these spots, but I actually did put oil in those. So I've got my thread all ready to go here, and I just need to pass, I can't tilt that up very well, so I just need to pass the thread here into this loop from the back going toward you. Okay, and then let me tilt this back down. And then there's a little hole back here that we're going to thread through. Let me see, I'll bring the camera. There's this hole here we want to get the thread to go through. And I'm just going to grab this thread and pull it up for a second so you can see where that's going. Okay. And then you need the thread to go over the top and into the tension discs, and make sure it's inside that tension. Don't just let the thread ride on top. So you need to make sure that's in between the tension discs. And then there's a little hole here that needs to actually go through. So let's see if I can tilt that. Whoops. So you can see you have to kind of come in from the inside and then let it find that hole. And is it going to go in there for me? There it goes. And pull that out. All right, that's the tricky part. So now we have one more spot here. We have to go through this hole, this little pink hole. Oops, and go through. And I do have my glasses on. You can't tell, but make sure it doesn't get caught up in anything else. And then there's a tiny hole here, just on the other side of that. We want to get the thread in there. So let me do this with one hand. So get this in here. And I'm going to pull it down. The last place after this spot is to put it in the needle. And I'm going to have to reset the camera for that. Okay, so I'm gonna actually, this part here can actually swing away. So I loosen a bolt here. I'm gonna swing this all the way back so it's out of the way. And we need to actually get, this is actually the needle. So I'm gonna use my hand here and I'm gonna turn the wheel until you see where the needle is coming up, just up here. And the eye of the needle is right here and it's about to go back in. So if you can see that the eye is right there on the edge of this metal part. So we have to thread from underneath that eye. So I have my glasses on, I've got my tweezers. A pair of tweezers do come in with it, right? That's, let's see, can I get this in the camera? These are the ones that come in, but I like these ones. They have, there are like some teeth here on the inside here that are actually grab onto the thread. So grab that, And then I'm going to hopefully get this threaded through that hole. This looks like a pretty small needle. Now, if I saw correctly, there were a couple needles that came with this, but I went ahead and purchased additional needles. So I'm lowering the feed dogs here, which are these things right here, but I don't have it clamped to the table. So that's the difference about not having it clamped to the table and having it clamped to the table. I'm just trying to get this done for you. I'm going to have to stop here. Okay, I think I have got this in the eye. I'm going to try to push this through, see if it'll go up anymore so I can grab the thread. Ah, there it is. Ah. Oh, there we go. It takes a little bit. And then there's this notch. I like to lay the thread right on top of that notch here. And I'm going to go ahead and, see that part? Okay. So it's all threaded. My suggestion is for when you need to rethread this, don't start at the very beginning. Just cut your thread off. Let me pan up here. So cut your thread like right about here and tie a new one on, and then pull it all the way through. Pull it all the way up to this point and then rethread your needle. And hopefully you won't have as much trouble as I did. So now I really kind of want to give this a try. I want to see if it works. So I'm going to get some fabric, press it, and see how well this works. Hi there, so I'm gonna actually do a test sew on this, and there's one thing that you need to know. There is a little switch here with up here it says 1-to-1 and 2-to-1, or it's a colon 1:1. That means 1-to-1. That means that there's not going to be any skip stitches. So in your sewing machine, if you're sewing regular stitches, if it was 2-to-1, it would stitch and then it would miss a stitch and then it would stitch again. I have actually never really used the 2-to-1 a lot. That's really used for really lightweight fabrics where you don't want a lot of noticeable hem marks. Sometimes draperies will be done with that. But I'm going to be using the 1-to-1. If you're going to be doing men's hems or skirt hems, you would want the 1-to-1. Now I'm going to have to actually play with this a little bit, so I haven't actually adjusted any kind of tension or any heavier fabrics or whatever. Maybe I'll do another video about that. But I just want to see how this works, see if the needle's going to break. It came with a needle in, and I believe I have one more needle in the box that came with me, but I went ahead and bought additional needles when I bought this. So I'm going to give it a try. Now if you're going to be doing skirts and pant hems that are circular, you don't have to worry about where you're starting at getting the fabric in. So I'm actually just have a scrap here, but I need to make sure that this area here, so when I lower this, you can't really see it. When I lower this there, the feed dogs, I need to make sure that the beginning of here is way past that area. Otherwise it will just, it won't feed through all the way. So I'm going to lower this, and of course I don't have it hinged to the table, and that's fine for now. So see, I'm going to be putting this way past, and I'll do another video about how to actually line things up, because I just want to get this sew done to see if it actually is going to work for me. And like I said, I have actually been working with these for quite a few years, so I'm about to give this a go. Okay, so I am about ready to give this a try. It's a little bit louder than I thought it was going to be, but and I think I'm catching all the stitches. Oh, my thread broke. So I'm gonna have to find that out, or it came out of the, okay, my thread did break. So, okay, so it looks like I have some tension issues going on here. But it's not catching every single, can you see that? Catching a little bit more. I'm gonna have to try to set this up. That will actually take a little bit of doing to setting up the tension and make sure everything is being fed right. But the one thing I do like is that it does work. So I'm just going to have to play with this, and after I play with it for a bit, I'll do another video of how I actually got it to set up. But I did the unboxing. Right now it seems like it's going to be an okay machine. I just need to use it a little bit more to get used to how this particular machine works. So this is the Consew tabletop Blindstitch machine. And I can't remember right now what the model number is, but I'll put that down in the information. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and I will definitely be posting a lot more videos. Till then, be well.